Hey everyone, hope all is well. Welcome to today's video. So today I'm going to talk about the A to Z of a typical management consulting application process alongside the timelines, alongside what you have to submit, the kind of interviews that you face, the number of interview rounds, the selection procedure, everything. But before I get started, just a simple request. If you have liked our content till now on B School admissions, on CV making, on consulting careers, then I'll just request you to hit the subscribe button and like this video so that it reaches more and more prospective learners. Awesome. Let's get started. I'll talk about a typical management or a strategy or an impact consulting interview process in this video. And there is a very small difference if you're applying through on campus, which is a company coming to your college, shortlisting you, then interviewing you, which is called on campus hiring, which is through college or business school or a master's program. And there is another sort of hiring, which is called off campus hiring, which is, when you directly reach out to the company through an employee referral, through LinkedIn, through IM Jobs, through Naukri, or you just apply on the careers page of the company's website directly. So there are two sorts of hiring, but there is a small difference between these two when it comes to consulting applications. Now, when it comes to you applying for a consulting role, it doesn't matter if the firm is visiting your college or if you are applying directly. The first stage typically is that you have to submit your CV, which is your resume. And some firms require you to submit a cover letter as well alongside. So typically the first step is CV shortlisting and cover letter writing. Once you submit that to the firm, be it on campus through your college placement team or off campus, which is directly on the company's website or through a portal or through an email. Once that is done, when it comes to on-campus hiring or college-based hiring, the second step typically is different. The second step when it comes to college-based hiring is that a company might take an aptitude test. Now, in an aptitude test, if you are aware of exams which are competitive exams like GMAT and CAT, any job aptitude test is very similar to a CAT or a GMAT. You are asked a certain set of data interpretation, quantitative aptitude, and verbal ability centric questions. You have to answer them broadly in 60 minutes. You have, 60 minutes to answer broadly 80, 90 questions. There are variations, but the nature of questions, the kind of questions are typically very similar to GMAT and CAT. So the best way to prepare for such questions is to, just go through the curriculum of GMAT, CAT, Quant, logical reasoning, and verbal ability. Practice some questions just to get into the flow and complete the test within time. And that's in on-campus hiring. Now in off-campus hiring, typically there is no aptitude test as such when you're directly reaching out to the employer through a referral or email or directly. But some firms might have an aptitude test, even if you're applying laterally or off-campus, which is McKinsey, right? So McKinsey has this digital game assessment, which is called McKinsey Solve, which is a set of brain teasers to test your on-the-spot problem solving and data interpretation skills. McKinsey deploys that assessment irrespective of if you're applying through your college or B School or if you're applying directly. Now, what I've seen about aptitude test is that the aptitude tests are never, very, very important. They're obviously important, a good indicator when it comes to weeding out, applicants who might not be a good fit. But as long as your CV is good enough and you don't do horribly bad in the aptitude test, you will definitely get an interview call, right? So in college-based hiring, the first step is CV, the second step is aptitude-based test, and the third step is you getting an interview call. Now, it doesn't matter if you get an interview call through college or if you apply directly, the interviews are broadly identical. Doesn't matter if it's on campus or off campus. So when it comes to interviews, consulting firms typically do 3-4 rounds of interviews. And these interviews are one-to-one in nature, typically taken by somebody who's very senior in that firm, somebody who's a principal or a director or a partner in that firm. And it's typically 30 to 45 minutes long in terms of duration. And the kind of questions which are asked in a consulting interview are either cases or guesstimates. A lot of people have this misconception that, I'll have to prepare for data analytics or financial modeling, or I'll have to learn business jargon, read business news. All of that is not tested at all in a management or a strategy consulting interview. What you're tested are two types of questions, which is cases or guesstimates. And you can easily learn the art of solving cases or guesstimates irrespective of your background. You might be from a non-quant background, or from a liberal arts background, or from an army background, or somebody who's a techie or a CA, or from a banking background. Irrespective of who you are as a college student or a working professional, you can master the art and build the muscle of solving cases and guesstimates. And what are cases? Very simply, a case is a hypothetical business situation thrown at you on the spot. You have to discuss that with the interviewer and give recommendations. Now, typical case questions can be: your client is a sugarcane manufacturer based out of Gujarat. They have been having declining profits in their business for the last 12 months. You have been hired to figure out why this is happening and give recommendations. Now, in such a scenario, you have to ask questions regarding the client. What are the competitors doing? What exactly is the client selling? And then you apply the profitability framework after reading case books, going through case interviews and mocks, and then you give the answer. So it's a 30-minute verbal communication with the interviewer. That's a case interview. And questions can be around any industry, irrespective of your background. It can be from banking, it can be from FMCG, it can be from retail, it can be from edtech. So it doesn't matter if you have static business knowledge of that industry or not. What matters more is, are you able to dissect the problem thrown at you randomly? And are you able to give me structured insights and ask me relevant questions in the next 30 minutes? That is exactly what a consultant would do in a real life engagement, right? So that is a case interview, and it can be around any industry, and it can be around any problem statement: declining sales, stagnating revenue, the firm wants to optimize their cost structure, fix their supply chain, fire people who are not performing well, the firm wants to hire a sales team, the firm wants to do mergers and acquisitions, the firm wants to introduce a completely new product in the market, and they want you to decide the selling price. The problem can be anything, any context can be there, and the industry can be anything, right? That's why your industry or previous background does not matter to excel in these interviews. That is a case interview. The second type of question which is asked in consulting interviews is guesstimates. Guesstimates can be, estimate the number of surgeries which happen in India on an annual basis, or estimate the size of the diaper market in India, or estimate the market size of marriage bureaus in India, or estimate the number of crores in Ahmedabad, or estimate the number of schools in Delhi. Here also, your GK, your static business knowledge does not matter. What matters is if you're able to dissect the problem on the spot, and give structured insights and approach as to how you will solve this problem, and also attach numbers to each and every problem. At the end of a guesstimate question, you have to give a numerical answer, which can be 10,000 schools in Delhi, 1,000 crores of market size of diapers in India, stuff like that. So for this as well, you don't need to have a certain MBA background or a business background. You can easily build the muscle of solving estimates and cases through consistent practice, through the help of somebody who has been there and done that, and can give you honest, unbiased feedback on what these recruiters look for, and through dedication and effort which you can put in every day, right? So I recommend all our learners who join our consulting fellowship to practice 2 guesstimates per day and 2 cases per day within the case teams that we allot them into, to really get better. And I request them to replicate that daily exercise at least for 21 days, 3 weeks, to get better at cases and guesstimates irrespective of the background. And that's step 3 for college-based hiring or off-campus hiring, which is 3-4 rounds of 30-minute conversations with somebody who's a principal or a partner in that firm, who's assessing you through guesstimates and case interviews, and they are assessing your communication skills, which is verbal communication, They're assessing your problem solving skills, quant skills, which is quick maths, to then decide if you should be hired or not. So these typical 3 steps are omnipresent in any consulting application, irrespective of you interviewing for a McKinsey or a Bain or an Accenture or a Samagra or a Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation or a Deloitte, it doesn't matter, right? Which is CV plus cover letter submission, which is aptitude test typically in on-campus hiring, which are not there in off-campus or lateral hiring, barring McKinsey. And the third stage is 3 to 4 rounds of interviews, which are guesstimates and case studies, after which the firm takes a call on whether they want to give you an offer or not. And in terms of timelines, when it's on campus, when a firm is visiting your campus, after shortlisting you, the aptitude test happens on Monday, and then the 3 4 rounds of interviews happen on the same day itself, right? But in off-campus hiring, since you're not reaching out to the firm through an intermediary or a college, the 3 4 rounds of interviews which happen in the end, they can happen and they can be spread out across, let's say, 2 3 weeks. One interview is happening on Monday, one interview is happening on the next Tuesday, one interview is happening on the next Wednesday, basis the partner's availability as well. So typically you submit a CV, you get a shortlist in 2 3 weeks, be it on campus, off campus. Then you have aptitude test on campus, no test off campus, then same day interviews on campus, and 2 3 weeks of interviews off campus to finally get an offer. That's the A to Z of a typical management consulting application process. I hope this video was helpful, and I'll see you very soon. Thank you.